Welcome to Hero Villains. Who do you think would win in the battle between Wonder Man and Sentry, the clash between energy-based power and a godlike entity? Wonder Man, whose real name is Simon Williams, is a Marvel superhero whose body is composed of ionic energy. Because of this, he possesses physical strength far beyond that of ordinary humans. The ability to fly, rapid regeneration, and near limitless stamina. Wonder Man does not need to eat, drink, or breathe like a normal person, allowing him to fight continuously for extended periods of time. In addition, Simon has extensive combat experience from facing numerous Avengers level threats, turning him into a living battery that is both incredibly tough and relentlessly resilient. Sentry, also known as Robert Reynolds, is an entirely different story. He is often described as having the power of 1,000,000 exploding suns. Sentry possesses immense strength, speed, flight, energy manipulation, and regeneration at a level that is nearly immortal. Even when torn apart, he can reconstruct himself. However, Sentry power always comes with his dark counterpart, the Void, making him an extremely dangerous psychological time bomb. In a direct confrontation, Wonder Man may be able to resist thanks to his endurance and stable ionic energy, but against a fully unleashed Sentry, the gap in power is unmistakable. Before we dive deeper into the analysis, please remember to press the subscribe button and turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. Thank you all very much. Simon Williams is often mentioned as a living symbol of Earth raw strength. He can casually lift weights exceeding 100 tons overhead, an achievement that places him among the most powerful individuals on the planet. Wonder Man's strength rivals that of Sentry, and it is no coincidence that many consider him one of the most formidable beings ever to exist. Throughout his journey, Williams has overpowered both infamous villains and elite heroes alike, from Abomination to Red Hulk, as if his strength had no clear limit. Even so, Wonder Man is not absolutely invincible. He has been unable to lift Thor and could not raise the training equipment used by Odinson. Nevertheless, these shortcomings do not diminish his other remarkable feats, such as overpowering Captain Marvel in a direct confrontation and even destroying Ultron, Humanity Mechanical Nightmare. Simon Williams' body is sustained by ionic energy, granting him exceptional durability, reflexes, and endurance. He is nearly immune to piercing attacks, does not experience fatigue, does not require food or oxygen, and is unaffected by the passage of time. Wonder Man exists as a living mass of energy, both powerful and enduring. An ageless warrior standing at the fragile boundary between hero and legend. Simon Williams is not only dominant on the ground, but also commands the skies. He can fly at speeds exceeding 700 miles per hour, so fast that wind and air seem to tear apart behind him. In the past, this ability relied on support devices such as rocket belts or jet systems powered by his own ionic energy. Over time, however, Wonder Man evolved to the point where such tools became unnecessary. Now, he needs only his will and the energy within his body to soar freely into the air. From a standing position, Williams can leap hundreds of feet, turning a seemingly simple motion into a powerful display of raw might. The ionic energy within Simon Williams not only enables movement, but can also be released upon contact, disrupting and stunning opponents. At one point, each use of his power caused him to fully transform into a being of pure energy. However, when the energy within him becomes unstable, emotions act as a dangerous catalyst. Rage can cause his power to surge dramatically, triggering abnormal manifestations such as changes in form, massive growth in size, energy beams fired from his eyes, spontaneous self-detonation, followed by regeneration, and even the transfer of ionic energy to others. Even so, these extreme abilities seem to have been lost or deliberately sealed away by him. In addition, Simon Williams can finely regulate the flow of energy within his body to make his eyes appear normal when necessary. His vision is capable of perceiving details that ordinary eyes could never detect, while his enhanced hearing allows him to pick up even the faintest sounds. When he joined the Avengers, Simon Williams stepped onto the front lines of battle. Alongside his teammates, he faced dangerous threats such as Blank, Graviton, and Maelstrom, where every clash could determine the survival of humanity. Beyond sheer strength, Simon also demonstrated a crucial role through understanding and goodwill. He was the one who approached Vision and persuaded that sentient being to abandon its plan to control the entire global computer network, turning a potential catastrophe into an opportunity for salvation. Simon further proved himself when he helped the Avengers dismantle the rapid world domination scheme of Victor Von Doom, known as Dr. Doom. Amid the fires of war and struggles for power, Simon not only found his purpose as a warrior, but also discovered a second family. Within the Avengers, he formed a deep bond with Carol Danvers, whom he turned to for advice whenever fear and doubt surfaced. He also fought side by side with Hawkeye, a warrior who had once strayed but redeemed his past through loyalty and unwavering resolve. Most notably, the friendship between Simon and Hank McCoy, also known as Beast, became his strongest connection. Beast open and humorous, nature perfectly balanced. Simon quiet and introspective temperament. In the 31st century, the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy of Earth 691 confronted Korvac, an entity wielding terrifying cosmic power. He effortlessly crushed most of the heroes, spreading fear and despair across the battlefield. Standing at the edge of life and death, Simon Williams finally overcame the fear of death that had weighed on him for so many years. He charged at Korvac with all the remaining strength and will he possessed. Although Wonder Man fell in that confrontation, his relentless assault created a precious moment, enough for the surviving heroes to regroup and counterattack. Afterward, all those who had fallen were resurrected by the enemy himself. Not long after, Earth was shaken once more when Bruce Banner, also known as the Hulk, returned from exile among the stars with uncontrollable rage. Leading the alien gladiator army known as the Warbound, Hulk quickly overwhelmed the Avengers, resulting in Simon and several teammates being captured in a short time. However, through resilience and teamwork, the Avengers ultimately halted that fury and defeated the Hulk. In terms of raw strength, Wonder Man surpasses the Thing and Colossus, but still stands below ultimate power icons such as Thor, Hercules, Sentry, and Hulk. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman, though extremely formidable, is not invulnerable and does not possess the extraordinary regenerative ability of the Hulk. Diana has been injured by sharp weapons such as swords, claws, and spears. Wonder Man, therefore, is not only a symbol of power, but also the embodiment of evolution, where energy, will, and emotion merge into a living legend. I truly hope you will subscribe to the channel. It helps us greatly and you are truly amazing. Thank you very much. Now, let us talk about Sentry. When placing Sentry alongside top-tier superheroes, many people hastily claim that Thor could easily defeat him. However, numerous key details clearly reveal where Sentry truly stands within the power hierarchy of the superhero universe. In reality, Sentry fully deserves to be ranked alongside figures such as Thor, Superman, and Silver Surfer, not by reputation alone, but through undeniable feats. Sentry easily overwhelmed Beta Ray Bill. This character once defeated Thor after claiming Mjolnir, forcing Thor to revert to his Donald Blake form. Later, Odin allowed the two to face each other on a barren planet in a fight to the death, where Thor would never again be transformed back into Blake. Even though Thor fought with the full might of a god, Beta Ray Bill still emerged victorious, choosing not to finish his opponent only out of honor. Yet, against Sentry, Beta Ray Bill had no opportunity to display that level of power. Sentry once tore apart the negative zone with his bare hands. This is not an ordinary space, but a reality that exists beyond countless higher dimensions, even beyond the very concept of the multiverse. Heimdall described this place as an infinite subspace, where the negative zone and the crossroads of infinity are interwoven. What is remarkable is that throughout history, the negative zone has been threatened many times by beings who had not even reached the level of supreme gods or angels. Yet Sentry was able to directly affect it. Sentry is not powerful because of rumors. He is the embodiment of power beyond conventional limits. Sentry is not a name built on hearsay, but one carved into history through battles of cosmic scale. He once fought Galactus to a standstill, enough for the Devourer of Worlds to remember him as a genuine threat. Sentry also shattered the Cosmic Cube, an artifact capable of erasing countless layers of existence and defeating even beings regarded as angels. That alone places him far beyond standard measures of power. Sentry power is further demonstrated by his ability to destroy a planet with a single thought. Each marvelous atom carries a cosmic nature, and each atom contains infinite realities. Crushing a planet therefore means acting upon a structure that transcends the concept of mere physical matter. This stands as proof of authority that reaches the essence of existence. Sentry is compared to Zom, an entity that once absorbed the power of all mutants. When Venom reached a similar level of power, he defeated a being who had killed both Galactus and the Living Tribunal, showing that the combined power of all mutants approaches the level of the Living Tribunal. Even so, Sentry remains standing at that summit. In a stable state, he is powerful enough to restrain Hulk at the height of his rage, even during the events of World War Hulk. The most frightening aspect lies in the reaction of Doctor Strange. A sorcerer capable of maintaining composure before Dormammu, Nightmare, and even Eternity himself showed fear at the return of Sentry at his peak, or, more precisely, the Void. Strange can face Eternity, yet lacks the courage to confront Sentry. From these implications, the most reasonable conclusion is that Sentry stands above Universal Eternity, Dormammu, and Nightmare. He is not merely powerful, but the very fear of those who are accustomed to staring into Eternity itself. Sentry is regarded as one of the rare beings to have directly absorbed the power of the Cosmic Cube, a source of power that has crushed many high-level angels. While Thanos could only merge with the universe in a single and highly limited way, Sentry demonstrated the ability to absorb and control that power. After the timeline was altered, he even overwhelmed Molecule Man, a being who had completely reconstructed himself even after being destroyed. It must be remembered that Molecule Man is powerful enough to imprison an entire multi-dimensional universe inside a small box, an act that demonstrates near absolute authority over reality manipulation. Beyond raw power, Sentry also displays terrifying willpower and mental resilience. He once resisted the mind manipulation of Doctor Strange, something almost unimaginable considering that strange magic and psychological tricks have deceived even the Beyonder. Strange was even able to imprison Dormammu within his own dimension, where that entity is nearly omnipotent. Yet Sentry not only resisted but directly defeated Dormammu, reducing an absolute advantage to nothing. Sentry's overwhelming force was further demonstrated when he shot down a celestial symbiote with a single strike, a feat significant enough to make the entire universe take notice. In another explosive surge of power, Sentry Bull hurled Thor straight through Asgard, causing catastrophic destruction. Overpowering and defeating Thor has never been easy, especially since the God of Thunder consistently ranks among the top 5 most powerful superheroes in Marvel. Sentry is like a living storm, where power, will, and destruction merge into a terrifying legend. Sentry's strength was clearly displayed in the moment. He effortlessly snapped the axe of Terrax the Tamer. It must be noted that this very axe once shattered the Silver Surfer surfboard, an object composed of material equivalent to Surfer's own body and famed for its near absolute durability. That board had withstood impacts from Korvac constructs, Master Order, Lord Chaos, and many cosmic entities of similar stature. Even Galactus himself. The fact that Terrax Axe defeated Firelord and Silver Surfer was not merely due to skill, but because it carried pure cosmic power. Yet, before Sentry, that weapon became as fragile as glass. When Sentry rage erupted during his confrontation with Norman Osborn, the surrounding world seemed to transform into a living hell. Rampant energy spread outward, forcing both the Avengers and the Dark Avengers to flee and seek shelter to preserve their lives. Space trembled, and the sky appeared torn apart by invisible pressure from uncontrollable power. Nor did it end there. Sentry single-handedly defeated the entire Cancerverse force, fused into a single entity. This army was composed of thousands, even millions, of multifaceted beings, many of which originated from the Far Shore, a realm existing beyond the bounds of the superflow of reality. Crushing such a collective was not merely a victory, but a declaration that Sentry stands at the boundary between hero and catastrophe, a level of power capable of making the entire universe tremble. In the battle between Wonder Man and Sentry, the confrontation unfolds within a ruined city, where shattered buildings stand in silence beneath a fractured sky, like a mirror reflecting the instability within Sentry's mind. From the very first moment, Wonder Man senses a threat far beyond any battle he has ever faced. Without hesitation, he launches into the attack. His punches, charged with ionic energy, erupt with explosive force, making space itself tremble as if reality were being bent. Sentry responds almost instinctively. Each counterstrike is heavy and devastating, carrying the pressure of godlike power. The direct clash between the two beings causes the ground to melt and the air to thicken until it becomes suffocating. Amid the chaos, Wonder Man realizes a cold truth. The opponent before him has no clear limits by which he can be measured. Pouring all of his ionic energy into the fight, Wonder Man forces himself beyond his safe threshold. For a brief moment, he manages to overpower Sentry, driving him back and creating a rare pause filled with hesitation. Yet, at that very moment, the void begins to rise. Sentry shifts from defense to annihilation, no longer fighting with muscle but with the fundamental nature of his own existence. Wonder Man continues to stand his ground, not only through strength but through survival instinct and hard-won experience on the edge of death. He attempts to draw Sentry back to the remnants of his humanity, striking at the mind rather than the body. For an instant, the light within Sentry wavers, as if he is about to stop. But that very instability is also the source of his limitless power. Once self-restraint disappears, Sentry becomes completely overwhelming. As the battle enters its final phase, the mental burden begins to erode Wonder Man. It is not due to a lack of strength, but to the pressure of an opponent who increasingly transcends all familiar limits. In stark contrast, Sentry grows more terrifying with every exchange, as the void gradually takes control, erasing the last moral restraints within Robert Reynolds. All restraint vanishes, leaving behind a pure storm of destruction. Sentry charges forward, no longer guided by the instincts of a fighter. He does not throw a punch, but instead uses his hands to tear directly into Wonder Man energy body. Rather than granting Simon the opportunity to regenerate as usual, Sentry manipulates matter at a deeper level, forcing the ionic particles that compose Wonder Man to separate and disperse throughout the atmosphere. The process of instant recovery is severed, turning the advantage of immortality into an invisible cage. Wonder Man's body dissolves into a formless mist of energy, drifting helplessly within the shattered space. He does not die, because his nature does not allow it, but he can no longer maintain a physical form to continue the fight. Sentry hovers beneath the fractured sky, breathing heavily yet utterly dominant. As the fury slowly subsides, Robert Reynolds regains awareness. The winner? Sentry. I hope you enjoyed this battle. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Follow me if you enjoyed it. That is today's video. Thank you very much.